with the mission to keep as many men on as many guns for as long as possible. We called him Doc. Welcome to Combat Vet Vision. And now your host, Aaron Chief Seabird.
Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Combat Vet Vision. This is where I get to talk about a lot of the things that are on my mind, what's going on in my life, situations that came up, combat-related issues. Three times to Iraq for myself to be alive after being hit around. And I'm still just trying to figure a lot of things out, but I'm doing a lot better with doing that with a lot of the resources I have. Luckily, I work with the other nonprofits, Warrior Built Foundation, PTSD Foundation of America, Veterans Helping Veterans Today, with Maurice Garcia coming up here in a few. I got all kinds of cool things going on, but this is where we get to talk about this, educating the public, and we get to help a combat vet that might be dealing with some stuff that's out and about. I want to thank Sitch Radio for putting on my show, for doing this cool thing, and for other nonprofits that are out there doing some incredible stuff, other individuals that have helped along the way. There's so many really cool organizations, people, and situations that come up that help our veterans in so many different ways. But hey, I'm lucky enough to have Maurice Garcia on, a good buddy of mine, a helper, a sponsor, supporter, a volunteer, a combat vet. He's here today to talk about his story, to give some insight. He is Veterans Helping Veterans. It's his nonprofit. That's really, he does a lot to do all that stuff. But Maurice, thanks for being on the show. How you doing?
Hey, thanks, Chief, for having me. I feel honored to be on here. So here I am. So it's been a long time in the process. Literally, as we've been talking about this for about a year now, and I feel very honored to be able to do this. So thank you.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about it, man. What made you join the Marine Corps? Talk about some of that.
Well, as get ready, because it's kind of like a novella. Let me tell you, before I joined the Marine Corps, I was a brand new father, just getting my life started. Didn't know where to go in life, and I was living out on the streets underneath the 15 freeway off of Baseline, overlooking the Denny's right there. A lot of people familiarize themselves with that. It was difficult. Usually is when you join the military, you get out of the military, you face homelessness. Well, I did it in a reverse opposite order. As I was homeless, and I didn't see my life going anywhere. My daughter was fighting RSV at the time. She was in an induced coma for first 4 months of her life, and I was paying her hospital bills. I was walking up it was about 37 miles just to visit her, to pay her hospital bills, walking back down, going to work. And I had no family there to support me through this. And so I was just like, what the heck? So sure enough, as I passed by the recruiter's office one day, and I was just like, let's do this. And the recruiter's just like, what do you want to do? And I did like whatever Marine says is, I want to be an infantryman. Yeah, gun ho. And he's just like, well, okay, you're going to go open contract. And I was just like, no, I want to be an infantry guy. He's just like, okay. Went to MEPS. The last good, weird feeling that I had is I was getting bent over, and that old guy with the one little hair on his chin and told you to touch your knees and bend on over. And he says, okay, now cough. Woo! Before you know it, hey, I was sleeping in Iraq. I had clean clothes. I was just like, hey, it's not so bad. And it was with that, my adventure with the Marine Corps, my 10 years of service with the Marine Corps, I feel very blessed. With my military time is, I loved putting on the uniform every day. It was pride and joy. And my last deployment, I was attached to a DOD because I took a DoD contract, and unfortunately we hit an IED, and that ended my career with the military. And I got out, did like every Marine does. It's either going to college or I was going to travel the world. Well, unfortunately, that was not in my books. And I started working with the VA. I went from VHA, Veterans Health Administration, to Veterans Benefit Administration, and it just took off. Honestly, it really, I saw myself growing with the VA, and I started learning new strategies in life. And DOD came back and said, "Hey, we're going to retire you from the Marine Corps." And I was just like, "Oh, I don't have to drive the 405 freeway anymore." I was like, "Yeah." So sure enough, I retired, and I took my knowledge that I got from the VA, and as I climbed with it, I was just like, how can I help my brothers and sisters continuing to continue to serve the community? And that's where Veterans Helping Veterans came out of. It actually was originally called Vets to Vets. And since I worked for the VA at the time, the VA took acknowledgement of that program. And so I ventured off and created Veterans Helping Veterans. So
yeah, and that's not you didn't capitalize on the name, so that name's used in a couple different directions, a couple different people,
yes.
a couple different avenues. So if you want to find Maurice by himself, Maurice Garcia is the way to go, or on my show. But he does help a lot of veterans in a lot of really awesome ways.
1 million veterans.
Oh, yeah.
I've reached up to 1 million veterans, has been able to link up with different portions of towns, states. I reach 48 different states. To kind of put it in perspective, is I believe right before Tilke left office for VA secretary, I think he was saying there was around 43 million vets. And knowing that I reached out to 1 million vets, that's a small footprint that I've made in the veteran community. But I feel very glad that I've been able to have that ability, and I thank God every day for that.
Nice. And talk about some of the deployments. Talk about your story. Talk about those situations, and then let's talk about your transition and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, is what that is. First deployment wasn't too hairy. With that was good old Iraq, Fallujah. Let me rewind. With that is going into those different towns and everything. It was interesting because, I'm used to, living out on the streets and not having anything, to go into a third world country and them completely, living like I was used to, like having that atmosphere. It was hard. It was hard because, I was just like, here we are in America, and we have everything at our fingertips, and seeing them, that was difficult. And then going into like my last deployment with Afghanistan was a whole different changer because we're in open areas. With that, we're motored attack nonstop. With that is, we're dropping a lot of guys. Unfortunately, as during my last deployment, we dropped a total of 14 guys, and that was hard. Is because every day is like, it's like I think I go back to my deployments, and I'm just like, it was a real eye changer. Something that was coming back into reality is like, I was wondering when we're out there and helping the locals and everything, is like, did we make a change? And it was weird because literally this was probably about 6 months ago. I was outside at the park with my kids, and sure enough, I smelled this bread, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know that smell. That's pita bread from Afghanistan. And I turn around, and this lady, sure enough, she had pita bread. And she goes, "Oh, do you want some?" And I was just like, no, no, no. She's just like, she's she's like, oh, you can have as much as you want if you want any. And I was just like, no, no. And I was just like, where are you from? She's like, oh, from Afghanistan. And I was just like, oh, whereabouts? And she's like, oh, Nazad. And I was just like, what? Like, uh, she's like, yeah, Nazad. And I was just like, okay, there's like 7,000 miles between us, like, or however many miles. It may be even more. And she goes, um, she's like, yeah, I left in 2009 in December. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, she's like, yeah. And she showed a picture. She's like, she showed a picture, and it was me and my boys all together. And a lot of those guys, unfortunately, they've lost their life to, the illness of PTSD. But with that is, she's just like, I was just like, holy crap, that's me. And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, that's not you. Because I was a little chunky, okay, now at this time. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But sure enough, is she goes, she's like, I showed her a picture of me back in my military uniform. And she's like, oh my gosh, that is you. She's like, oh, you saved my family and my family's life. She's like, you see that she was only 7 here. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And she gives me a big old hug. She calls her husband. She calls all the other family. Before I knew it, there was already like 10 to 15 people that of her family that were able to save. And it made me really think about, like, my time in Afghanistan. And with this whole time, with like, it helped me through this time of our pullout, because knowing that my job in the Marine Corps wasn't, not saying it was pointless, but there was a point for me to be there. There was a point for my guys to be there and everybody else. And honestly, it was a blessing in disguise.
Wow, that's a cool reflection of what we do in the military to enlighten something, and nobody can really reflect on that. I fully understand. It was just interesting to listen to our interpreters talk about how a lot of them had to run to different countries to do stuff, and then now they're going back into, like, the first interpreter that I knew was going with 3-5 he'd tell his story. It was like something epic. And to know that he left his country and he's going to go in there with 3-5 on his, on his back, per se. And it just gives him this, this sense of pride for a lot of different things.
Yep.
And, yeah, what you see and then seeing that is pretty amazing. And, yeah. So since then you transitioned out.
Yeah.
What else you?
I just want to clarify for those Marines out there. I didn't go in as 0311. I got switched to go Motor T. So just to clarify that, so I don't offend anybody saying, "Oh my gosh," but I was with the Grunt Unit, 3rd Reconnaissance, 3-4, and Truck Company. So yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that real quick, so we don't get anybody be like, "Oh my gosh," like. But with transitioning out, like I was saying, is I started working with the VA. I was going to school. I was going to school originally for nursing. Went from nursing, got into the biochemistry world, and I furthered my career inside the VA. And I was working under Robert McDonald. I'll leave my comments on the former VA secretary alone. We'll keep it PG. No, but honestly, having the staff that I did, we excelled beyond belief. And as with that, being able to find loopholes, not for us to make our job easier, but the confusion that vets have going into the VA system, to being able to simplify it so that they can understand and we can understand them as well, what they need and how to better assist them. So at the time, we had a total of 6 million claims. There were 6 million backlogged. And I remember Robert McDonald came in and first thing he said, what are we going to do about this backlog? And I told him, I was just like, well, we can do it this way. And he's just like, is this going to work? Everybody in the office stayed quiet. And me, I'm kind of a person that likes to overachiever, not trying to be cocky, just being confident. And I told him, give me a team of 5. He's like, we got 40 staff here that would be able to help you. And I was like, I only want 5. And so sure enough I told him, he's like, how long do you need? A year, 2 years? And I was like, give me 6 months. And he's just like, there's no way you're going to be able to do this. And I was just like, I will. My team, I believe in my team, and we can do this. And sure enough, at 4 months, when he came back to visit, we took the 6 million claims and we brought it down to 138,000 within that 4-month time period. And it was a very effective way. It still works today. And is with that is for those veterans that are using attorneys, screw them attorneys that are charging vets for their disability claim, because I don't believe in that. But it's with that is it's just taking the time and doing your due diligence, and it works. It's and is with that is the fun part is you get to shoot stories off each other, which is always nice. Sometimes it's sad, but with that is it's effective, and that's what's I don't know what more to say. It's just it's effective. So
Nice.
It's about a mission accomplishment, reaching that end.
Yeah, and what made you kind of part ways with the VA?
Is I wanted to focus on my children. With it, as I knew as I would be taking a pay cut, but money doesn't bring happiness, or as Daniel Tosh says, money doesn't buy you happiness, but it sure does buy you a wave runner. No, but honestly, is I really wanted to focus on my children. Long story short, as every military member could probably tell you, they got a DD-214, either bad credit and a divorce somewhere. And so I was going through a really nasty divorce. My health was kind of deteriorating. Back in 2013, I was diagnosed with the stage 3 brain tumor, and I just saw my life kind of all over the place again, like before I joined the Marine Corps, and I just looked at it as a way to really focus on what needs to be focused on, and went through treatment. I was graduating school, and I didn't want that stress of working in the VA and knowing that might be my last time seeing my children. So I said, you know what? Hey, you guys are giving me the retirement, and I'm going to take it. So I took the retirement.
Nice. And man, you've been doing a lot of things since then. You help out Warrior Built PTSD Foundation.
Yes.
You volunteer for a lot of other movements. You're involved in a lot of the political stuff going on. You spent some time with Melissa Melendez doing some stuff, and you've represented a lot of different things.
Yep.
The veteran as a whole in many different directions. Talk a little bit about that, and your health took another turn not too long ago too. We'll talk about that too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See. No.
Yeah.
Long story short is like I said, is I like to be an overachiever. I've worked along with Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Ken Calvert, Darrell Issa, Melissa Melendez. That has been a blessing in disguise, because here I am, like I'm going to reiterate, is I was living out on the streets, not knowing anybody, to now I'm dealing with all these high officials, and they're pointing me in the right spots. Hey, this is this is what you could do here, this is what you could do there, and that has been like being able to go to banquet halls in Washington D.C. from being sitting at official tables that I would never think I would ever be able to sit, or getting these phone calls from people that I would never think I would get phone calls from is it's weird. It's just weird to look back that, little over 2 decades ago, I was that person underneath that bridge walking 37 miles just to go see my daughter. So, that was something else, is like, doing a lot of stuff for city of Lake Elsinore, for Riverside, Orange County, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, from Washington, D.C. to Phoenix, Arizona. Like, the cities just keep going and going. I should get one of those frequent flyer mile cards, because I think I would pay off with all the traveling. Shout out to anybody that works in Dodge or Ram or anything. If you're listening today, I do drive a Dodge, so no, but honestly, it's I invest a little bit of I invest a little over 30,000 of my own money, 30,000 a year, just to give to the vets, because I don't ask anything from a vet. I ask for a high five or a hug, and it's that's all I ask, because it's a way to be able to give back to them. So that makes any sense.
Yeah, so obviously all this running around put a lot of stress on you not too long ago, and you ended up in a really rough situation, dire surgery kind of thing. If you want to get into that a little bit and talk about where you're at and what. Obviously, you're way healthier now, but
yeah,
well, scary for a little while.
Yeah, ulcers and hernias, they come back to haunt you. With that, as we know, the VA likes to just give you medication and say, "Hey, there you go, just suck it up." Come to find out, is I had ulcers and hernias that weighed a little over 11 pounds in my left-hand side that was growing underneath my rib cage. And with that being said, is I went in for an endoscopy. And endoscopy, they rushed me into emergency surgery, and well, they took them out, and well, I dropped 207 pounds since then. So it's been a life-changing experience, as I can touch my toes finally. With that is it's I'm able to fit in clothes that I never thought I could fit in again. It's been a journey on that end. But yeah, as I ran a PFT, a mock PFT, I went back down. Mind you, as I got 2 titanium knees, titanium back. With that, as I ran a 298 PFT, 19-minute 3-mile with the 50-pound pack, 20 pull-ups with the 50-pound pack, and 100 sit-ups. So,
and this was how long? And this was when?
3 weeks ago. So,
all right.
Yeah, so I'm feeling kind of strong. So with that being said, is for what's his name, Armstrong or whatever, the guy that took all those drugs. Well, besides him, I'm the next strongest man. Okay. So
that's good. That's good.
My wife loves me.
So what do you? There you go. Yeah, and you still do a lot with your kids. You even bring them down to the shop. They restock the fridge. You have them, you put them to work.
Yep.
You're very active with your family. A lot of really cool things with that. But you're still very busy supporting and helping out from time to time and as needed. I know I task you out with a lot of cool stuff too. Thanks for supporting and helping me out all the time. Much awesome kudos to you. You're also certified with all kinds of things, man. You're certified as a drug and alcohol, running AA meeting.
Yep. AA, drug and alcohol.
Talk about some of that.
Is with that is I wanted to further my knowledge to be able to help vets, because being a vet myself is I understand the struggles of transitioning from military life to civilian life, or even if you're transitioned into civilian life, is just your hurdles from your back military life. And so as with that is I started taking these classes, certifications to be able to help out. Because one of our biggest addictions that we have for military is alcohol and drugs. As with that is drugs can range from your prescription drugs to over the counter drugs. One of my downfalls was I was addicted to taking NyQuil to go to sleep, because unfortunately with the tremors and everything at night from the deployments is I needed to find some way to put myself to sleep. Excuse me. With that being said, I wanted to better myself, but also to be able to help those that needed to better themselves as well. And is having that person to outreach and actually be able to relate to, I wanted to be that person. And so as I took these different classes to be able to help, one that I'm looking forward to completing, as well as for PTSD Foundation of America, I'm looking forward to that 30-hour course. Being able to be an outsource, because we're hit with all different walks of life coming from the military. Take myself from being homeless to being a family man now, to individuals who are struggling with substance abuse, from people are struggling from PTSD and everything else. The list just goes on. So I want to continue to be able to help those individuals and continue them to help higher achievements, because one thing that I look, one quote that I take to heart is, teach a man or give a man a fish, he feeds for a day. Teach a man to fish, he feeds for many. And I take that to heart, because I like to be able to teach others my skills that I have, because that's how I leave a legacy behind. No. Well, I think Chief freezed on us there. That is is with that is as why Chief gets logged back in right here is with it is I strive honestly to be able to help those that need to be helped, and I know that's it's difficult for individuals to come out and say that they need help, but we all need help, and I know that because we can't do it all. We can't always do it alone, and as we strive for greatness, we do. And as with that is sometimes we have our downfalls, but sometimes you just need that hand to come up, and that's what I offer to help those and continue to help those that need to be helped. And I will do that until I'm not able to do it anymore. And so I find that in a very big blessing. So with that is I think our Chief's coming back. There he goes. There's that sexy guy.
Hey, good to see you again. Sorry, I got disconnected somehow, so apologize for that.
I was just about to say, this is Aaron Siebert. Strength and honor. No joke.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Hey, so I know you talked about a lot of things. Is there anything else you wanna throw out there? That I know, yeah, you're getting ready to do the 30-hour certificated course, and that's gonna make you give you the ability to run peer-to-peer mentor groups.
Yep.
That I run usually on Tuesday nights for our guys. You participate in that. I think there's some really important things to be said about groups in general. So I'm looking forward to that. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we head out?
Yeah, I just want to say to my brothers and sisters of uniform, past, present, and future, honestly, don't give up hope. I know it's hard, especially now with everything that's going on. You got politics over here. You got this group over here, this group over here. Honestly, if you believe in something, go for it. Is with that is you got, I got to tell you, Chief, is you've been a mentor for a long time. I've known you for it's been 6+ years, and I can't thank you enough. And as with that is, you're not alone. And as with that, together we could stick together, be able to change the world and in a positive way. And feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at, if you don't mind me plugging away my email address, at Veterans Helping Veterans 2015 @gmail.com. That is, again, Veterans Helping Veterans 2015 @gmail.com. Feel free to hit me up. With that is, if I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer. If you just need a chit chat, feel free to hit me up. I'll even give you my personal number. Just hit me up on that email, and it's not a robocall or anything. It's actually my direct telephone number. I get probably about 1,500 calls a day. I answer as many as I can a day. So feel free to reach me or come down to the shop, Warrior Built. We're here in Lake Elsinore off of Cordon. Feel free to, stop by, grab a monster. We have a bunch of donations. If you need food, if you need diapers, whatever it is, if we can get our hands on it, it's coming to your front door. So thank you again, Chief, for everything. Thank you for having me on the show. And if there's anything, hey, don't hesitate to ask.
Hey, thanks, Maurice. It's awesome for you to be here. Veterans Helping Veterans and all the other things that you volunteer for. You're part of Build Foundation, all kind of. I just want to throw out there real quick to the Field Op, which is another podcast ran by SitchRadio.com, and that's on Thursday nights. Check it out. Be part of it. If you want to be on that show. Be on that. Until next time. This is Aaron Siebert signing off. Strength and honor. Out.